Our next storyteller is Katie Burns. Katie is a therapist from Wheeling, West Virginia, who works with adolescents living with the effects of trauma. Katie has a history of anxiety, depression, and panic attacks that continue to affect her daily functioning. Katie hopes to inspire others to find their own self-management and learn how to breathe through their fear. Please join me in welcoming Katie Burns.
As a therapist, I can tell you everything that you need to know about anxiety. I can tell you how anxiety is a natural, innate emotion that helps us survive from the time that we are born. It's instinctual, and it helps us meet our need for safety. When our brain's instincts override our higher thought processes and believes there is danger in everyday tasks, that's when our natural instincts becomes a disorder. I can remember engaging in self-harm at the age of 7 years old because that was the only thing I could think to do to calm down when I was scared and upset. I can remember my first real panic attack at the age of 9 years old when I was separated from my parents for 3 days at a Girl Scout camp. I can tell you that I have experienced anxiety and depression for as far back as I can remember. It is my normal, so much that I didn't realize my normal wasn't normal until I was a senior in high school. My journey with anxiety peaked in my freshman year of college after the unexpected death of my father. In that moment, I lost myself, my family, my purpose, and my world. Anxiety took control, and for the next 8 years, it ran my life, resulting in self-harm, weight loss, weight gain, passing out, panic attacks, and multiple hospitalizations. I even quit being a therapist for 2 years because my mental health was so poor. If you had known me in high school, my friends called me Mama Hen, and what I had done was buried myself in caregiving to others so I wouldn't have to care for myself. In those 2 years of not being a therapist, I finally accepted the fear that has always lived within me. Fear has a job, and it's a good job, but it often wants to do its job too much. I worked on myself with the help of my husband. He taught me how to work through the worst of my panic attacks, first by following his breathing, then by listening to his words, then encouraging me to work through it, and all along taking care of me and loving me through the best and worst days. I can honestly say if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be standing on this stage today telling my story. I learned the most basic and most significant lesson that changed my life, how to breathe again. So when I heard about This Is My Brave, I felt a rhythm erupt in my chest, and the rhythm turned into spoken word, and the spoken word has turned into a mantra to help myself now through moments when I struggle, because I do still struggle. And so I present to you this evening the words that came from years of panic, tears, and most importantly, love and healing. I present to you, breathe. Breathe. Really focus, you can do it. Exhale and inhale and exhale and slower. Don't get caught in that thought, it isn't true. Heart's felt this before in your core and you know what to do. Externalize before you melt before your own eyes and breathe. Raise your chest up, your head up, look up to the sky. Explain why, you know why. Antithesis is at its best, your duality is true. This is the fear creeping out, freaking out, this isn't you. Hesitation, increasing palpitations, causing mistaken incorporation of the end. Don't be defined by what's in your mind, just breathe. Really spinning in my head, and all I want is to forget everything from that day, but it replays. Activating shallow breath, feeling like death. Try to focus on the outside, try to let this side. Holding on to the thread, looking to the abyss, the precipice engulfed by the survival from the threat, and I can't breathe. Remember when it didn't matter. Remember when you weren't entranced in this dance of survival with yourself. Actually take it back. Before the attack, try to relax. Think about a safer time. Replace your space in your head. It's not 2 years ago in that room when the threat was real. Everything is different now. You've had time to heal. Please breathe. Remind yourself that you are safe. Exaggeration is not a game that you are playing. You are safe. Anyone can see that you are not she who experienced that fear that's past. It's in the past. She isn't here. Where you are in your car outside where you reside, only an after effect that you feel the effect of every night since you left 2 years ago. And breathe. Rest easy now. You can do this. I believe this isn't you. Eventually you will see that this isn't you, and the rest won't be as intense, the threat less. It's the same test that pushed you through to who you are today, how you've changed, how you've grown, how you've shown everyone that they were wrong and you were wrong because you can breathe. Relax your chest, relax your mind as you entwine with the thought that you are safe. Anxiety will not be the death of you. It's true it hurts, it's true it lies inside, ready to take flight, hiding behind insecurities deep set by an experience, giving the appearance that you will die and cease to breathe. But ready yourself, you can do this, you can win. Each and every time you experience this, it lessens. Actuality remains. You experience the fear of the attack, not the fear of the event that bent and fractured your mind. It's hardly worth the time that you put behind this inescapable existence of that moment. Enter the reality of trauma, the drama, and the experience is over, and you can breathe. Remember, reality is designed by your own eye, not where your fears lie, where you anticipate the precipitate of a terror transaction. Instead, has satisfaction in your role of control where you are secure. Eventually, the pain always lessens, and new lessons will be learned because you learned in the moment just to breathe.
Amazing, so creative, thank you. And I'll always remember that, just breathe. I love that. That's awesome. So, yeah, that's awesome.